All right, so one of the things that I've been working on recently is the development of a new type of special effects system for CrazyTalk Animator. Um, Basically, it involves the use of traditionally drawn animation effects, but in a way that can be better manipulated, better handled, and stuff. So, what I've come up with is a series of effects that are built in a certain way that you can drag and drop them onto your stage. And notice that even though I get a little preview here of the effect, there's going to be about 500 of these effects, by the way, in the initial release. Um, when I release it onto the stage, we get this little ball icon. It's kind of like almost like a Pokeball that you throw onto your stage. And basically, whenever you're ready for this thing to explode, I mean, you basically, it doesn't matter what frame you're on. When you get to the frame where you want it to explode, you just right click on it, and from the action menu select, explode. Boom. So you get the effect there, and it kind of stays gone. So there you go. So at the point where the explosion happens, at that point, we do have to come back and hide the ball itself. So at that very first frame where it's invisible, what I do is I double click on this visibility icon, click on it once to hide it, click on it one more time to show it. That basically creates a keyframe on your timeline, right here somewhere. So, and it's a visibility keyframe right there. So if we go all the way back to the very first frame, at this point, we could just hide it completely. So it stays gone until it reaches the point where we told it to explode, which in this case is somewhere in frame 800 and something. Boom. And we get that nice explosion there, and it goes away. It's kind of like a little firecracker that you throw into your scene, and it explodes and does whatever. And I mean, these are gonna be like fire effects, explosions, wind effects, smoke, things of that nature. And that's kind of the gist of it. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a practical example of how to use these. So using this same effect here, I'm basically going to drop it on the stage, and I'm just gonna replicate it a couple times. One, two, three, four. So I'm gonna drop 5 of these effects onto the stage. And I'm just gonna spread them out in 3D space. In fact, I'm gonna use this this thing here to kind of better assist me. And all right, so I've managed to spread these out a little bit. All right, so I have those little effects scattered in 3D space. And what we do now is we're going to just kind of mock up a quick animation. I'm just going to use this 3D ref, guys, so that it doesn't get in our way as far as this character is human, so he should look more human or whatever. We're not concerned about that. We just want something here for demonstration purposes. I'm gonna select all of these. Wonder if I can just, let me see here. Click there, there. And I'm gonna bring them down some. So that should be about right. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just kind of mock up this character running forward towards the camera from way back there. I'm just going to drop like some generic running motion. That's good enough. I'm going to extend it some. Doesn't really matter. I'm not concerned with the actual animation itself. I'm just kind of giving you an example of a practical application, and you'll use your own skills and your own imagination as to how you can implement this this procedure. So here I am frame 1. We're gonna go to, I guess, let's go to frame 500. I'm not even sure what that's gonna look like. We just need to get this guy to the front of the stage. So we end up with an animation that kind of looks like this. It's probably going to be way too slow. Yeah, we're going to have to speed that up some. Oh yeah, okay, good. So let's see here, transform. Let's move this to frame maybe 200. Let's see how fast that is. Okay. Maybe we should bring him closer. Let's see what that looks like. All right, that's good enough. So we have our character running in 3D space. And there's our little Pokeballs. Just gonna scatter them out a little bit more. So as he's gonna pass by these effects, I want to go ahead and make them explode. So he's there. I'm gonna select that. I'm gonna go back to our regular stage, because on the stage I can select the action menu and explode it. All right. So he's going to be passing by this other one. I'm going to explode that one at this point. And maybe right here we're going to explode this one. And right now, and okay, I might have done that one a little bit more premature. Let's zoom back out. Control Z. Maybe explode it right there. So it explodes behind them. Now we're gonna go forward some more. Wait for him to pass that. Explode it. And this guy is a little bit too far away. I'm gonna bring it in. Maybe I want this explosion to be bigger. And I'm going to remove that animation there, so it's not actually moving in. I mean, I could have it move in. I mean, it's really doesn't really matter. This initial part is not even going to be visible. So at this point, maybe wait till it goes behind them. Action, explode, boom. All right. So now we're going ahead and clean up the explosions themselves. So we're going to go back and take a look at that first one. So we find the spot where the initial explosion happens, and I want this explosion to actually kind of go this way and maybe be like all like that. All right, so we're going to go back to the previous frame where while it's still invisible, we're going to double click there, 1, 2, just to force a keyframe to show up. then rewind it to the very first frame, and then hide it completely. We're going to go and continue finding the next explosion. That's that one right there. Okay. We're going to rewind frame by frame. Boom, right there. So I'm just going to tweak that one a bit. So just to have it more, you know, I don't know. Maybe I can even do this. I mean, I could just kind of adjust it a little bit. It doesn't matter. It's going to be the very first frame, so we can play with it. And any movement that happens beforehand, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be invisible. So we're just going to rewind it one frame. Okay, we hide it, we unhide it, and that creates the keyframe. We rewind it all the way to the first frame while it's still selected, and we'll just hide it completely. So that way it stays hidden all the way until it explodes. Boom. All right. So we're gonna keep doing that to the next one. That one right there. Okay, so this one is gonna go up. Maybe we want it to be big like that. Okay, I'm gonna rewind back a little bit. Hide, unhide, rewind to first frame and hide. All right, let's take a look at this one, which is gonna explode at some point. Right there is good. We'll adjust it. And we'll hide, unhide, rewind, and hide. So that way we're getting rid of all the initial animations and visible stuff until the moment of explosion. Okay, let's work on this one here. And of course I may have done that one a little too big, I don't know, but we can fix it. Maybe even have it go this way. I mean, I could even animate that explosion to a certain extent. So we go here, boom, hide, unhide. We might even go here, do the opacity, no, kind of, let's go to 10, rewind. I'm not sure if the opacity can be easily animated. We'll see what happens. See? Actually not too bad. So let's get rid of that little rolling thing. Boom, hide it. And now when we play the whole thing, it looks like that. Boom, bam, and bam. One more. All right. So now we can get a little bit of cinematic stuff going on. Move the camera in. are free to get as creative as you want with this stuff. I think you get the idea of how this is going to work. It's a pretty decent workflow, I think. It allows you to control the effects much nicer. And, you know, because a lot of these effects do kind of require you to start with like an empty keyframe. And also, one thing to note is that all of these effects are going to be are fully vector based. So when you look at these, they're always going to be 100% clean, very, very nice and sharp. There's no pixelation because they're vector based. They're all made in Adobe Animate. And also because they're vector based, they are also render style compatible. So you can come in here and change the colors of whatever you're doing. So feel free to make your own color effects. There's a little white portion in there. So the colors are fully editable. You can do all sorts of weird and crazy stuff. I was actually experimenting with this very same effect, making somebody's head blow up. It was actually kind of cool. Made it look like flesh and guts and stuff based on the colors alone. So it doesn't necessarily have to be fire. There's going to be all sorts of uses for this. And of course, you know, this is all vector based stuff. So if you need to be able to use these effects on other things, you're free to just put the effect in here, render it out at whatever resolution you're working with. If you're working on a project that's 4K, 8K, it doesn't matter. It's vector based, so you'll be able to render it at whatever resolution you want. And then bring it into After Effects, add, you know, additional glows and things of that nature to it, just to enhance it even further. So these are going to be a very, very versatile effects, and hopefully you guys like them, and it generates a lot of new ideas to work with. And if you have any kind of special requests as to what type of effects we should include into this effects pack, just let me know.